one.
So this is going to be interesting because this is one of the, like I was talking about this, I thought Jun Super Friends deck could be good. And now we're going to see it's going to be put to the test because, you know, typically Blue-White Control can be a difficult matchup. But if he's got cards like Rakdos Return and like Thoughtseize or Doomblade or Duress, it could be really good.
There's a Garrick in the main and the board. Yes! Can we get it in play? Please, Harry, it's nothing personal, I promise. Howlett Fountain to start things off here. COrvese playing Blue-White Control again. This is a deck he's been playing for some time.
Yeah, it's very threat light. He's got 1 copy of Aetherling and then 3 Elspeth. That's basically his win conditions. Everything else pretty straightforward. He's got the Revelations, the Verdicts, the Detention Spheres, the Jaces, 4 of each. Got counter spells and Dissolve and Syncopate, and then some removal in Azorius Charm and Banishing Light. He does have 1 copy of Jason's Ingenuity. That's basically the 1 new card that we're seeing in the main deck. After board, not that much different though. He's got Nightveil Spectre, obviously, Pithing Needle, Rapid Hybridizations, Dispel, Last Breath, Archangel of Thune, and Negate, and then Aetherling, another copy of Aetherling. But only M15 card I really see is Jason Ingenuity.
And Nightveil Spectre, a card that Harry's been a big fan of for some time.
And he's basically blue-white. I mean, he's not really playing, he's not an Esper deck, he's a blue-white control deck. Yep. So you don't see blue-white control often playing Nightveil Spectre, but he doesn't really have, almost all of his mana, short of 4 Mutavaults and 2 Plains, can tap for blue. He's got 1 copy of Temple of Silence, which obviously he can also use to cast Nightveil Spectre because it taps for black, so it just feels it's probably too powerful in certain matchups.
Mutavault's gonna come in there. No fear in that 3 mana. Could be a Flare, could be an Azorius Charm, but Mike sniffs it out, gets the 2 damage across. COrvese is going to play a Temple of Enlightenment, put the top card to the bottom, pass the turn back. Byrd will draw. It looks like a Temple of Abandon.
So yeah, it looks like he's got a Mistcutter Hydra and Sylvan Carotid in his hand as his only creatures.
Look at that Mutavault.
I like he's just getting in there.
Yeah, me too.
I'm getting in there.
I'm not scared of you. Gonna play a Temple of Abandon, take a look at the top card. That top card's going to stay on top pretty quickly there for Byrd before passing the turn back over to COrvese. As much as I love these Mutavault attacks, we got to develop that board some.
Yeah, we got to. I kind of would have preferred a Carotid there, but.
Mike going to quickly untap. He kept this card on top pretty fast. It's a copy of Xenagos. That's a good way to develop the board.
So many good cards in his hand. Can anything resolve? That's the question.
Yeah. If you know Harry, he's a big fan of counter magic in these decks. He does have 4 copies of Dissolve in his main deck. Wouldn't be surprised if he has one in his hand. Also 3 Syncopates in the main.
Well, given that you dropped Harry down to 14, I kind of like just attacking here and playing the Carotid, and then next turn trying to go for a big Mistcutter Hydra, and then forcing his hand so you can get one of your Planeswalkers into play.
The beats don't stop. COrvese down to 12. There's the Caryatid. Is there a follow-up land for Mr. Byrd?
Oh, this is Harry going to have to counter a Sylvan Carotid?
No. No way.
Look at him. He's thinking about it. Maybe he's like, all right, I'll get him off mana ramp. I get to scry a little bit. Let's see what he wants to do here. He's thinking about it.
He's deep in the tank. Wow.
I mean, he probably knows Mike's deck is really mana hungry. So, especially if he's attacking with Mutavault. I mean, I don't know. You got to figure he's got a lot of lands if he's attacking with Mutavault.
Gonna counter that.
I'm not a huge fan of that play.
That's got to be a win if you're Mike, right?
Yeah, you got to be ecstatic. Yeah.
I got to dissolve out on that. I got to be so happy.
Given what Mike's doing, you know he's probably got a lot of mana. I mean, that might just be a play for Harry where he doesn't have a lot of action in his hand and he's just trying to scry.
Oh, there's Elspeth. Maybe he just wants the board clear for the Sun's champion. That's what it is.
Well, that means Stormbreath's going to come down now.
Garrick's also got some prey.
God, if that Sylvan Carotid resolved. Maybe that's why he countered it, because he knew that could potentially be 7 mana for Garrick.
Charm.
Wow, so that's pretty good there. It looks like he has 2 copies of Charmed here. So he's going to be able to deal with the tokens potentially in the future. Can Stormbreath come down and drop Elspeth to 1? Is that what we're going to see here?
Oh, Byrd taking a look at his hand. Let's start by playing Overground Tomb untapped.
Interesting. What does he need 6 mana for, I wonder?
I mean, there is the potential this turn to play a Xenagos, leave up Golgari Charm. I'm not sure if I love that line of play this turn, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'd want to just get a Stormbreath, because Stormbreath's hard for a blue-white deck to deal with. So it looks like he's just going to go. Is he going to play Xenagos here and just attack it?
Sack it. Okay.
All right.
So Satyr token, and that'll come in here. It looks like. I imagine that will be the play.
Yeah. So Stormbreath can potentially kill it next turn because even if Harry uptakes it, but then again, I mean, Harry's going to have 3 other tokens, so to use Genis, to use another Golgari Charm. So yeah, this is an interesting line here.
That's going to go down to 3. I'm not sure if I love it. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I mean, because the other thing that can happen now too is your Xenagos generates mana next turn to cast Garruk.
But if Harry's got mana untapped, though, I mean, are you realistically going to just run a Garruk out there?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Especially after he used the Dissolve on a Sylvan Carrot. I mean, he probably has multiple counter spells, you'd imagine.
Well, I hope so. I do hope so. There's a Detention Sphere. It would be a touch awkward if you didn't have another counter spell.
So let's see here. Golgari Charm plus Mistcutter Hydra can kill the Elspeth.
He's got 2 dragons now. I think we got to cast at least one of these dragons.
I don't know. I think you try to lead with Golgari Charm first to see if he counters it, and then you play Mistcutter, because Mistcutter can't be countered. So Mistcutter plus the Satyr token would be able to kill the Elspeth. If you just play Dragon and he counters it, then even the Dragon won't kill it next turn. So you might just have to deal with too many tokens.
There's your charm. Now Harry does have a negate in his hand. He's actually going to just use this to destroy the Detention Sphere. And there's the negate.
Yeah, so this is a terrible situation for Mike now. He just has no way to deal with Elspeth. So,
yeah, I don't love the sequencing here. Like, he has a game plan, I just think it's the wrong game plan.
Yeah, from the turn before, I just think Stormbreath is so good against blue-white that you just want to get it into play. I mean, and Golgari Charm is an instant, so you can actually use it much more effectively. And now he's basically just not even, so he just has to pass here and do nothing.
Basically, when you look at the context of his hand, as Corvese is going to play a Hallowed Fountain untapped, he's going to take Elspeth up. When your hand is Stormbreath, like Garruk, which you obviously can't cast, and then you have, another card in your hand, which is Mistcutter, and that's not one of the cards that you've cast for the turn, I feel like you've made a mistake.
Yeah, you've definitely,
Because you can't wait around forever to cast those cards. He can start to leverage an advantage with Revelation and find counter magic, and you got to cast those cards and basically make the blue-white control player have it, whatever it is.
Yeah, now he's forced to cast Stormbreath Dragon into 7 mana up, and it won't even kill the Elspeth.
Yeah.
So I just don't get, like, Harry could be like, all right, fine, I'll let it resolve, let my Elspeth go to 1, and then I'm just going to draw 4 cards, hoping to find an answer for it.
And the dragon is in. Here come the attacks. So there's going to be a whole bunch of blocking here from Corvese. Looks like let's see if he wants to trade with the Satyr token or not. It looks like he's just going to chump block here. So that's what's going to go down to 1. I mean, we know a Rev is coming, right?
Yeah, you'd have to imagine how without an untapped means Rev is coming.
This is made for 4. Corvese is going to go up to 14 and gain 4 life. 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, so Mike's in a real tough spot here. Harry's going to get to look at 5 cards. Let's see what he can muster here. And Elspeth would do the job as well.
Well, this is the red zone. You got to imagine it's a verdict now. So there's your attack for 5. Byrd's going to go down to 13. Corvese going to cast a verdict. That's going to clean everything up. Now Elspeth can go back up to 2. You see Harry going to put the tokens out there and pass the turn back with some mana available.
Yeah, so Harry's got counterspell mana up. He's potentially showing Celestial Flare or Azorius Charm. So Harry in pretty good shape right here. You usually are after a Swings Revelation for 4.
Chances are.
So Mike here, at this point, you have to imagine he's like, all right, well, I just have to get stuff out here, so I can't be cute. Let me just try to get Apex out here. All right, nope. Looks like he's going to play Sylvan Carrington.
There's a dragon.
Now we're going to play a dragon.
There's a syncopate. So there goes the dragon. That'll be exiled. And he's going to pass the turn back. Over to COrvese, who's going to untap all those lands. Time for her to take a draw. Elspeth starting to get to work here. There's a temple. Take a look at the top card.
The good news for Mike, though, I think Harry might be out of gas. I think he has another Elspeth in his hand, but I don't think he has any more permission or card draw.
Well, there's the real chance here to see exactly how good Garrick is.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a chance it's going to be good, it's going to be in this game. I mean, hopefully dealing with an Elspeth and then maybe soaking up some damage. But I don't know, Harry might just have too many tokens at this point.
Yeah. Up to 3. 3 more soldiers. COrvese, wow, he's getting really aggressive. Actually, oddly enough, like this play.
Yeah, just get those tokens out there.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways that this can go bad, but my opponent's already used 2 copies of Golgari Charm.
Yeah, and you have lethal now.
Yeah.
Next turn with the Mutavault.
Yeah, I like this play actually quite a bit. It's definitely aggressive. There's a Domri. You're a little late to the party. It is 7 mana, but I'm not convinced that Garrick can actually save him.
Yeah, I don't think Garrick can actually do much in this situation. Unfortunately, it can kill Elspeth, and then you have a Carrington back to block the Mutavault, so you fall to 1. And maybe you could top deck a Golgari Charm. But the Predator.
Yes. He hears voices in his head. That's what he does.
It's so beastie. Look at it. It's got a giant axe.
Easily my favorite card from the deck, from this set. Easily.
So good.
Another target Planeswalker is dead. It is Elspeth.
I wish it would win him the game.
I do too.
Unfortunately, I don't see it happening, but
Just
God, that artwork.
There's Mutavault. Everybody coming in.
So are we going after Mike or Apex Predator?
Gonna block the Mutavault. I think Mike's gonna go down to 1.
So does Mike have any outs to save a 3rd Golgari Charm, perhaps?
There are 2 in the board, and there's 1 Mortars in his main deck. Boo!
Oh.
Boo!
Can you imagine? Oh, another 3rd
Jeez.
Elspeth. Can you imagine an Apex Predator getting shut down by a needle?
No, I can't.
That's pretty embarrassing.
I can't imagine that. There's a Blood Crypt. That's not going to help much. Mike going to look at those cards in his hand. I think he's going to concede the game in just a moment.
I got to say, things didn't look that bad for Mike. The way it turned out now, obviously, it looks terrible. But Mike's situation early on looked okay. I think if he just took a couple of different lines, like if he just gets that Stormbreath Dragon to play, given it what Harry's hand ended up being, I think that Stormbreath Dragon actually deals with most of those Elspeths.
I think Mike had the tools to win this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Unfortunately now, the power of Elspeth is just too much. With Mike at 1, there's way too many attackers out there.
Yeah. And that's going to do it. So Eric COrvese is going to win this game and match over Mike Byrd. 2-1. Blue-white control will down Judd Monsters. I think if Mike goes back and watches this game when we do put it up on YouTube and Twitch, I think he'll realize that maybe some of the sequencing and the game plan needed a little bit of work.
Well, that's
in those
the hope.
mid-turns of the game.
That's
yeah.